comes the money.
Our first huge defeat, UFC Freedom 250. On our last episode, we got smoked. We lost our whole bankroll. We were up $70 on the series, and then now we're going back to ground zero, starting back at 100 because we lost it all. Ilia Topuria, we thought he would get the finish. We thought that fight would definitely end before the fourth round, and we definitely put our money where our mouth is. The fight maybe should have stopped. The doctor said to stop it. Mark Goddard said no. Ilia Topuria wanted to continue. The fight did not start the fifth round. Only it was the fourth. Money line on Ilia Topuria took out our three-piece combo. Lopez cashing in pretty good on us, going minus $84 on this section, which is pretty rough. And on our next section, we went minus 20 on this one. Ilia Topuria under 1.5. It possibly could have hit in the second round. Ilia Topuria could have finished him. Michael Chandler, I thought he would be able to get some wrestling going. Rufi just killed him in the first round. I thought the fight would start the second round. I don't quite remember, but there was definitely less than a minute for sure. But Chandler, he's just done. He's washed. I think that Rufi looked pretty good, but Chandler looked the worst he's ever looked. Going around minus 104 overall, and you know what? That's quite rough, especially because our locks, we went 3 out of 4 on this. We had Bo Nickel locked, we had Sean O'Malley locked, we had Lopez locked, and Ilia Topuria locked, and then 1 out of 2. So going 4 out of 6 on our lock, I think that's just bad betting on my end. So we'll try to improve and get better next time, so not harp on it too much. But let's forget about last week. This week we got Plessis versus Usman. Our locks are going to be Fatima Klein, money line, minus 485. I think that she's going to beat Tabitha Ricci everywhere. She's going to be the better striker, more output. Tabitha Ricci, she has a big reach disadvantage. She has a height disadvantage, and I think that Fatima Klein is really coming into her own. She's still kind of young. She's definitely improving, and I think she's getting better each fight. She looked great in her last fight, and I think that she should be able to win by decision at the very least. People are saying finish, but I think that this is a women's fight. I think they'll probably go to decision, but the money line at minus 485, I feel like that's locked up. Next up, we got the main event, Plessis versus Usman, over 2.5. I think that's a lock. Usman, he has only been finished by a head kick knockout in the last couple seconds. He is getting older. I think that his knees are definitely not as washed as he's been saying. I think he's trying to have this image that he's so old and so bad, and he still gets the takedowns. I think Plessis, in his last fight, he got taken down plenty of times. I think Usman can definitely use his wrestling here to clinch up, stall out the fight a little bit. I think that Plessis isn't this finisher. He isn't one punch knocking out everybody, and Usman, he's really durable. I think this fight's really tough to call just because Usman has the wrestling advantage. Plessis has the size and strength advantage. He has the power advantage. He's an actual 185er, and he's really big. Usman's moving up. I think that this fight definitely goes over 2.5. And at minus 320, I feel like it's pretty good, so lock that up. Their names are kind of hard, but our last lock, we got over 1.5 on Ko versus Jean. And this is pretty good because I feel like Ko is going to be looking for the takedowns in this matchup. Jean, he's pretty good on the ground. He has wrestling of his own. He's pretty quick. He's got high kicks. I think that will be in Ko's advantage to be able to get him on the ground. His ground game has been looking really good. He's been taking down all of his opponents and keeping them on the ground. Good ground control, and he's totally fine with taking this fight to the scorecards and just having a dominant decision victory. I think that Jean's definitely going to struggle to not get taken down, but he does have a good jiu-jitsu game, so it's a little bit dicey on that, but I think the over 1.5 at minus 360, lock that up. Next up, we got our value. The main event going to the scorecards at minus 125. Both these guys are crazy durable, just like I was saying, on the over 2.5 being a lock. I think that this fight going to the scorecards is crazy good value because both these guys are decisionators. Plessis, he definitely has grit. He's definitely the bigger guy, stronger, more powerful, but I think Usman, he's crazy tough. Plessis isn't just finishing everybody. He's going to the decision a lot of the time, and I think that at minus 125, this is pretty good value. And the next two value plays, we got Mitchell Ramirez by KO plus 500, first round KO plus 1,000. I think that this is really good value simply because Chase Hooper has been knocked out 2 times in his last 2 fights in the first round. I think that Chase Hooper is just coming back too soon, and he doesn't really have a great wrestling game. He got knocked out like 3 months ago. Mitch Ramirez, I think that he definitely doesn't have some heavy hands, but think that Chase Hooper's chin is kind of gone, especially being knocked out so many times, being so young, coming back too soon. I think the KO prop and the first round KO is really good value, and I think that you should definitely sprinkle a little bit. Now let's get into our bets. We got Moneyline Klein, Jean over 1.5, 40 on that. That's minus 185. I feel like this is a nice lock play. I'm thinking this is pretty safe, and I'd say that I don't really see how this doesn't hit, just because Klein, I think she should be the better striker. She should be able to keep this fight on the feet using her range, using her output. Ko is definitely looking to take this fight to the ground. I think that he'll be able to stall a lot of time out by getting some takedowns, getting control, and he's been doing that in all his fights at minus 185. I feel like it is a bit chalky. Putting 40 on that, and that's going to be profiting a decent chunk. Next up, we got one of our locks as well, over 2.5 on the main event, parlayed with Chase Hooper, Mitch Ramirez inside the distance. Put those two together, that's minus 120. We're putting 20 on that, and I'm feeling pretty good about this just because Chase Hooper, he can find the submission here. Mitch Ramirez can find the KO, so the inside the distance at minus 250 is pretty good, and the over 2.5, that's one of our locks. I feel like this fight is definitely going over 2.5 with Usman's wrestling, with Plessis not being a heavy hitter, so parlay that, minus 120. I'm feeling pretty good about that. And our final bets, we had to go. The main event goes to the scorecards, $20 on that, minus 125. I feel like it's just too good value to pass up. And the same reasons of why I'm betting this is because the wrestling and Plessis not being a heavy hitter. I think that Usman's being disrespected a little too much. I can definitely see him winning this fight just because Plessis' wrestling game isn't the best. But Usman, he's going to be the smaller guy. He's not going to have the strength advantage. He might have the wrestling advantage, but is he going to be able to get the takedowns? That's the real question. If he doesn't, I feel like his striking is good enough to go to the scorecards. He's got a good chin unless he's getting a head kick. And I think that at minus 125, I feel like you got to bet it. Next up, we got Mitch Ramirez by KO. We're putting $3 on that, plus 500. I feel like this is a must bet just because Chase Hooper is coming off 2 back-to-back knockout losses. He's come back 3 months off of his last knockout, and I think that the first round KO at plus 1,000, we're putting $2 on that, just spreading it a little bit, trying to cash in a little bit more, essentially putting $5 on the KO, but on the first round, just because if Mitch Ramirez doesn't really knock him out in the first round, the value is definitely going to go down. It's going to be my 100 to 1,000 Plessis versus Usman. This is going to be the real test to see who the real African is, and you know what, this is a pretty good main event. It's pretty exciting. If you like the video, give the video a like, comment down below any of your bets, or if you're disagreeing with any of my picks or locks or value plays. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to cash in.